Hey love bugs, welcome to Love Grind. Thanks for joining me tonight. I'm Ebony, your host, and we are a podcast about love addiction and codependency. Tonight we're going to talk about something that digs a little deeper, and especially for me, jealousy in relationships and why it happens, how to stop it. It's going to cause us to dig deep and really think about how we feel about ourselves. So take a seat and let's talk about jealousy. Get on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. Give me a likes and a thumbs up, and please comment. I would love to hear from you. Let's get started, love bugs. Join me as we take the challenge of overcoming jealousy in relationships. Let's see if we can turn things around. All right? We're going to try to do that. Did you know that nearly 1 in 3 breakups involve jealousy as a core issue? Have you ever felt jealousy creeping into your relationship unexpectedly? Even when you knew it didn't make any sense? You're just talking yourself into it? Sometimes it can be induced, but jealousy is one of those emotions we all feel, but no one wants to talk about. In relationships, it can be especially damaging. Today, we're going to unpack why jealousy happens, how it affects your relationships, and most importantly, how to stop it from taking control. And then let me tell you guys something. This causes me to dig really deep, and I did not want to, but jealousy comes from a place of insecurity. And when we're talking about jealousy, we're not just talking about with your partner. I was jealous in all aspects of my life. With my children, making connections with anybody else other than me. With my friends, going out with anybody other than me. With my mom, maybe calling one of my sisters to do something and not me. It was this place of just total inadequacy for me. And I didn't know it then, but I do know it now that it came from a place of insecurity, which I hate to admit. I feel like I'm pretty confident about myself, but I really wasn't, because this jealousy was seeping out in all aspects of my life. So I had to do some digging and say, why do I feel like I'm not enough? Like I'm not a good enough friend or partner or daughter? Where is that coming from? And once we start digging deep like that, we can try to fix it and start to heal it and understand that we are enough. And if we're not, go on, move on somewhere. So we have to understand to be comfortable with ourselves, knowing that we're enough, and we have to be comfortable being alone if we need be, if we're not enough for that said person, right? It's a lot of work to do, but it can be done. I'm still a work in progress, but I feel a lot better knowing where that's coming from and how I can heal it. Let's be honest, jealousy doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it starts as something subtle, a quick glance at your partner's phone, or that little tiny spark when they laugh at someone else's joke. But left unchecked, jealousy builds walls. Suddenly, you're questioning their loyalty, reading into every text, needing constant reassurances. Communication starts to break down. You're not just fighting about what did happen, but what you fear might happen. Right, love bugs? And the result is your trust erodes, your emotional intimacy fades, and the relationship begins to feel more like a battlefield than a safe space. Because that person's always having to validate what they're doing. We all look at our phones. They always have to validate who they're with or if they're telling the truth. I'll never forget once I was at my mom's house. My ex, I had called him and he said he was doing something. And I hung up the phone and I was like, he better be doing what he said he's doing. And my mom looked at me and said, trust him. If the man says he's doing that, then that's what he's doing. And until you know otherwise, there's no need to get worked up. And that was kind of like a light bulb moment for me. So I'm like, damn, she's right. I'm blaming and I'm accusing and I'm having this fear of what might happen when he's really doing what he said he was doing. And I had to give him that respect and that trust to, fall back off of him. And so that's something that we all have to learn. If we trust ourselves and know that, hey, I'm cool. Hey, they like me. They're in a relationship with me. My friend likes me because I'm XYZ. We have to stand on that. So what causes this? Why does jealousy show up even when we know we're with someone who loves us? Let's break it down. Insecurity. This is probably the biggest root cause. If you don't feel good about yourself, it's hard to believe someone else truly does. Maybe you've struggled with self-worth, or maybe you're comparing yourself to others constantly. You think, why would they choose me when They could have someone better. But who says someone else is better, right? We all have our flaws. Past experiences. Have you ever been cheated on or betrayed before? That trauma sticks. Even in a new relationship, the fear that history might repeat itself can lead to hypervigilance and mistrust. When you're betrayed in that way, it does something to you, not taking anything from you. It really is a traumatic experience. To think that someone that you shared your heart and soul with can betray you in that way and give themselves emotionally and physically to somebody else, it does something to you. And if you can start to heal from that, you don't have to put that on your next partner, your next friend, or anybody else in your family who didn't cause that trauma. Fear of loss. Sometimes the more we love someone, the more afraid we are of losing them. Ironically, that fear can make us cling tighter, causing tension and making the person feel smothered. Definitely can relate. I thought my ex was so gorgeous and so smart and had all of these wonderful things that I was so afraid he was just going to go outsource his shit. And most of the time he wasn't. Our partners can induce these kind of mistrust or betrayal, especially if they're on social media micro-cheating, or if they're always looking at another woman, or tons of different contacts that they won't get rid of. Those cause some type of jealousy to form. So make sure that whatever relationship you're trying to work on, you're setting clear boundaries on what can possibly be a problem. Imagine your partner gets a text at 11 at night. It's just a meme from an old friend, but your heart races. You don't say anything right away, but inside, a storm is building. You're like, don't. By the next morning, you're cold, short, distant. They ask what's wrong with you, and now you're either shutting down or accusing them of something they didn't even do. That is how jealousy operates, love bugs. Quietly, gradually, and destructively. Because jealousy turns into all kinds of other things. If you're feeling jealous enough, you're going to be wanting to track them all of the time. You're definitely going to be accusing them all of the time. And let's not talk about revenge or vengefulness when you feel a certain type of way. You're bound to do anything. And I know that I was at a certain point. I was so angry and felt so betrayed that I wanted to just fuck shit up. And it was so unhealthy. And it made me look so disleveled. It was insane. But I had to dig deep and understand where it was coming from and realize that sometimes what people do to you is not a reflection of you, but of them. And you don't want to fuck up your life doing things that are rash and irrational. And it all stems from jealousy. There's no need for me to be jealous. That's hard for me to admit. And it's going to be hard for some of you to admit. Because again, I'm confident. But somewhere inside, I was dismissed and I felt like I wasn't enough. In adulthood, it comes out as jealousy. And that shit is not cute. Here's the good news, love bugs. Jealousy isn't a sign you're broken or even toxic. It's a sign something needs attention, either inside of you or inside of the relationship. What can we do? Let's talk about some strategies that actually work, huh? What about having open communication? Instead of accusing, try expressing. Say something like, when I see you texting someone late at night, I feel anxious, or not because I don't trust you, but because of my own fears. This opens the door to connection rather than conflict. Set those boundaries so they're not thinking you're just attacking them, Self-reflection. Ask yourself, where's the jealousy coming from? Is it really about this moment, or is it about something deeper? Journaling, therapy, even just sitting quietly with the emotion can help you understand what's fueling it. Like, why don't I feel I'm enough? Or why do I feel like he's going to go out or she's going to go out and cheat? It's because of something that happened in your past. And if you check the facts, check your emotions, 2 to 1, you're just feeling a bit of anxiety about something that happened in the past and it's not really relevant. But like we said last week, go with your gut. Healthy boundaries and agreements. Every couple is different. Every couple expects different things from one another. If certain behaviors make you feel uneasy, talk about boundaries. Not as restrictions like an ultimatum, but as agreements. Things like we let each other know when we're catching up with exes, or we don't keep secrets about new friendships. Boundaries create clarity and reduce uncertainty. Because when you keep a secret, what are you trying to do? Hide something, right? I mean, I don't know who's going to go and say, hey, I just talked to my fine-ass ex the other day. But if you do, and it's a big secret, and that person finds out, man, that's going to create some type of jealousy, right? You're trying to hide it. If you work on your self-worth, jealousy often shrinks when self-love grows. Invest in your hobbies, your growth, your passions, your time alone from your partner or away from your partner. When you feel grounded in your own worth, you're less likely to feel threatened by others. Definitely. I remember a couple I used to work with. We'll just call them Sam and Riley. Sam felt jealous every time Riley spent time with friends. We couldn't go out to drink. At first, they argued constantly. Sam felt ignored. Riley felt controlled. Through some deep conversation, Sam realized that the jealousy came from being left out as a child. Those wounds never really healed, and once they understood that, things shifted a bit. Riley started being more inclusive, and Sam started working on that younger self that just needed to feel secure. They didn't just survive jealousy, they grew stronger because of it. So if they were open and honest with one another, and that helped not only heal that person, but also just open those doors of communication. You know, I was the middle child. I came from a military background. Both of my parents were in the Army, and I'm the middle child. And so I tended to be overlooked a lot, didn't make a lot of fuss, but overlooked. I was not unloved or uncared for, but I feel so needy in relationships sometimes, the need for validation, the need to be seen. Because of that, I feel like. And I also feel that sometimes I didn't think I was enough, With those kinds of conditions, going into adulthood, I tend to be jealous and territorial. And that doesn't make for a good girlfriend or wife, because you need to let somebody breathe, understand them, and I can have a great relationship, and so can you, love bugs. So here's what we've learned tonight. Jealousy is normal, but it can hurt your relationship if it's left unchecked. It often comes from insecurities, past experiences, or the fear of losing someone you love. And that's what makes jealousy so hard for me. And it can be addressed with honest communication, personal reflection, clear boundaries, and self-love. Jealousy doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of a deeper understanding. If you face it together, if you just face those hard truths and work through with your partner, if it's not too late, because sometimes you can push somebody away. I mean, I was off the chain. We'd be at a restaurant and they would be talking about like the specials. And as soon as the waitress left, I'd be like, so can I go to your wedding? You talked to her so long, I thought you were getting married. Shit like that is not okay. They're trying to be friendly and open, and I am in a way reprimanding them for that. And that is not okay. Make sure you're checking yourself, again, you're self-aware, so you're not making that person feel like. Have you ever dealt with jealousy in a relationship? What helped you through it, or what are you still struggling with? Drop your thoughts in the comments, love bugs. I'd love to hear your experiences and maybe feature them in a future podcast. If this helped you, check out our next video on how to rebuild trust after conflict. Because healthy relationships aren't perfect, they're honest, growing, and real. Someone truly loves you, they're not going to be jealous, they want to see you grow. But definitely know that when someone is not all over you, that is healthy. What is unhealthy is someone needs to know where you're at 24/7. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I hope you learned something tonight, love bugs. I know that I did. Glad that you joined me. And until next time, I'm out.